This meeting is being recorded.
Well, hello everyone. Good afternoon from Colombia, from Bogota. We are really excited that you're here with us. Camille, we're gonna wait just some people just to enter the meeting, or we just start right now?
I think we can start right now.
Well, good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the first Go Colombia Talks for U.S. Higher Education Institution, a series of webinars focused to the international and study abroad officers and decision makers to know more about Colombia as academic and scientific destination, discovering opportunities in students and faculty exchange and international collaboration. A project supported by the U.S. Embassy at Bogota and Colombia Challenge Your Knowledge within the framework of the strategy of Go Colombia from the Ministry of National Education of Colombia. Today, I will have the honor of being your hostess, and I'm Lina González Beltrán, National Director of the General International Affairs Department of Universidad Santo Tomás here in Colombia. Today, we have 4 special guests. We hope their talks are of your interest. We all invite you to watch the next video from PROCOLOMBIA, Colombia as the most welcome place on earth. Well, we hope you enjoy all this video. And right now, we invite Ms. Caroline Turpin, Counselor for Public Affairs, who is with us today as the representative of the U.S. Embassy at Bogota and will give us a special greeting. Caroline Turpin is a U.S. diplomat and has been with the Department of State for more than 17 years, serving in Mexico City, Brussels, Luxembourg, San Salvador, Sofia, Santiago, and Washington, D.C. prior to the foreign services. Caroline was an English language fellow in Croatia and the Dominican Republic, training English teacher. She is originally from Richmond, Virginia, but lived many years in Florida, where she taught English as a second language and teacher training at the University of Central Florida. She has a master's degree in applied linguistics. Caroline's husband also works for the Department of State and he is currently posted in Sri Lanka. Caroline recently arrived in Bogota with her cats, Maya and Shoki. Welcome, Caroline, to the stage.
Thank you, Lena. Well, good afternoon to everyone. I'm very happy to open up today's session on Colombia as a world academic destination. As Lena said, this is the first of 4 sessions on the Go Colombia platform, a strategy from the government of Colombia to promote the country among higher education institutions abroad. And I know I'm supposed to talk about academic things, but seeing that video just reminds me of how beautiful Colombia is, how interesting and diverse it is, and how I wish I wasn't sitting in this office and that I was out discovering some beautiful part of Colombia that I haven't seen yet. But as you can see, it's got everything here, and you couldn't wish for a better destination to study but it might be hard to sit in the classroom. But anyway, at the U.S. Embassy in Colombia, we have a very strong portfolio of programs in education. We promote higher education institutions locally, but we also look forward to increasing study abroad opportunities for students from the U.S. coming into Colombia. With support from the Office of Study Abroad from the Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, we have been working closely with the Association of Colombian Accredited Higher Education Institutions like the Columbia Challenger Knowledge and the Colombian Ministry of Education to join efforts and establish new bilateral relations while simultaneously encouraging more Americans to visit and study in Colombia. Through this project, we also collected information from Americans who previously studied in Colombia to learn from their experience and identify their motivations. Also, as an outcome of these speaker series, we will invite you to design strategies to connect with Colombia, and we will select 3 of you who will have the opportunity to join an immersion program to visit at least 2 Colombian cities. This year, we are celebrating 200 years of diplomatic relations with Colombia. We have built a solid relationship in which education has been key. We have a number of programs to strengthen academic cooperation. In addition, there is a strong Fulbright Commission that offers opportunities not only for Colombians, but for Americans interested in short research projects, fellowships, and teaching assistantships. I would like to highlight that there is a current open competition of the Innovation Fund of the 100,000 Strong in Americans initiative that will award 9 grants to support projects for academic mobility between Colombia and the US. This time, with support from the US Department of State and the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation, the call is open until August 28th. So I encourage you to look at that and come up with some interesting projects if you're at all interested. With more than 70 projects already taking place or finished, Colombia is the top country in the 100,000 Strong initiative, covering more than 100 higher education institutions in 17 Colombian departments and 29 US states that provide access to new models of student exchange and training programs in both countries. I would really like to encourage you to take this opportunity. This is exactly what we work for here at the embassy. Our programs are meant to create mutual understanding and cultivate people-to-people relationships and also institutional relationships, so we have solid, long-standing networks. Finally, I would like to thank our guest speakers from PROCOLOMBIA, the Colombian Embassy in the United States, and our partners from CCYK and the Colombian Ministry of Education. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you have a productive session, and I hope to see you in Colombia someday. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Caroline. Well, now we invite Mr. Iván Darío Gómez Castaño, Chief of the Cooperation and International Affairs Office at the Ministry of National Education in Colombia. Iván Darío is currently coordinator of the group of delegates of the Minister of National Education and represents the minister in some higher councils and director of the public higher education institutions, and chief of the Cooperation and International Affairs Office of the Ministry. He studied pharmaceutical chemistry and has a master's degree in biocomplexity. He is a polyglot and has more than 15-year work experience in public policy, project management, administration of educational resources, direction of education areas, creation of integrated models of teacher training, creation of educational materials. He has served as Undersecretary of Quality and Relevance in the Secretary of Education of Bogota, was Director of Education at ProAntioquia. He head of research at EAFID, responsible for the tertiary education at Confama, and teacher and researcher at the University of Antioquia. Welcome to Mr. Iván.
Thank you very much, Lena, and good afternoon, everybody. Before starting, I want to give a very special greeting to Caroline Turpin, which is Cultural Attaché at the U.S. Embassy, and also Rachel Wilson and Diana Patiño, which are also at the education section of the embassy. Same time also to Maria Jose Abaubara, which is Director of Tourism of the Office of PROCOLOMBIA in the United States, and Luisa Fernanda Godoy, Executive Director of CCYK. And obviously all the US higher education institutions that registered for the webinar series. A very warm welcome. On behalf of our Minister of Education, Maria Victoria Angulo, I would like to thank you for the presence in the first International Go Colombia talks, which aims to strengthen relations in cultural and academic matters between Colombia and US universities and promote the mobility of students, teachers, and researchers in both countries. This project has the support of the U.S. Embassy in Colombia and started as one of the main actions derived from the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the two countries in 2019 that prioritizes, among other projects, encouraging and promote cooperation around good practices in internationalization of higher education. The United States has been a key ally for the internationalization of higher education and in the positioning of our country as an academic and scientific destination. The increase of academic mobility and the strengthening process of technical, technological, and vocational training is evidence of this bilateral work. The United States is reference in education for us, and we want to continue building mechanisms that allow us to strengthen this relationship. For us as a ministry, it is an honor to be part of this project that aims to achieve not only the increasing of academic mobility, but also an articulation between the HEIs of the project, encouraging the development of joint programs and breaking down borders for the benefit, especially of the Afro-descendant community between both countries. Additionally, these types of initiatives are what we are highlighting from the Go Colombia strategy, where we research the promotion of institutional collaboration at an international level to encourage not only incoming mobility, but also virtual and cultural mobility, such as it expected to be done through this project. Finally, I want to emphasize that we will continue to work in an articulated way between the entities of the national government together with the networks of higher education institutions such as CCYK, and we celebrate these international university cooperation initiatives that will surely provide us more tools to strengthen internationalization processes in our institutions and tools to address the challenges of higher education in terms of quality, relevance, access, inclusion, management, and governance. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Iván. Well, right now in this time is our first talk, it's our first Go Colombia talk, and we have the theme Colombia as a world destination. That's why we invite to this stage, online stage, our special guest, Maria Jose Abuabara from ProColombia, who is going to present the strategic data in connection of biodiversity, cultural diversity, regions, tourism, geography, food, and industry. Maria Jose, an international executive with 17 years of experience in the Americas and in travel tourism in Colombia and the United States, skilled and trained bachelor's degree, In communication in the Jorge Tadeo Lozano University and certified in executive leadership and high performance by Cornell University. She has been a part of the organization since 2007 in different roles and offices between Colombia and the United States. Under her leadership, the team of creation oversizes plus 47% of the market share of international travels arriving to Colombia. Through an extensive network of USS commercial partners in the airline sector, the cruise industry, and the tour operators, travel agents and meeting planners across the U.S. in alliance with the market drivers as member of the USTOA, FCCA, CLIA, Virtuoso, Signature Travel Leaders, ICCA, PCMA, SITE, among others. Welcome, Maria Jose.
Thank you, Lina, very much. And I really want to thank the Embassy of the United States in Colombia, the Colombia Challenge Your Knowledge team, the Ministry of Education and Go Colombia, and all the kind words you have shared with us, and especially providing the opportunity so that we can deliver the message and the most updated information about Colombia as a destination. We're definitely very proud about the bilateral relation between the United States and Colombia this year with the bicentennial. And I must say that the biggest thing of celebrating 200 years of relation is because we share values, not only in democracy, open markets, the rule of law, security, but also in conservation, also in sustainability, in energy transition. It has such a great impact in our daily work, and it makes us very proud. I have to say to all our participants that in tourism, those 200 years also show up in a very specific way. Colombia is the #1 destination in South America for the United States traveler, and the United States is the #1 destination for Colombians as well. Another reason to be very proud of. And I have some slides that I would like to share with all of you to, to illustrate better. Can you confirm, are you seeing my screen right now?
Yes, we're seeing bottom of the slides.
Yes. Fantastic. Perfect. Okay. As Lina was mentioning before, I'm the Director of Tourism for PROCOLOMBIA in the US, and I would like to put you all in context of what PROCOLOMBIA is. PROCOLOMBIA is the organization within the government of Colombia.
Sorry, Maria Jose, we are not seeing your slides. Do you want to present them?
It's telling me that I'm sharing. I am going to reshare again.
Okay.
Now, is it working now?
Yes.
Perfect. So as I was mentioning, PROCOLOMBIA makes part of the government of Colombia and is the international organization, international promotion organization within the Ministry of Trade, Tourism, and Industry particularly. So we are in charge of promoting international tourism to Colombia, non-traditional exports, and foreign direct investment. All of this with the umbrella also of the country brand. We have presence in 34 markets and we have 21 regional offices in Colombia. So the mission of the organization is to connect the products and destinations of Colombia with the demand abroad. Give me 1 second. Fantastic. Particularly in the tourism sector, we have different tools to support our stakeholders, both in Colombia and in the markets abroad, particularly in my case, in the United States, through information, training and validation, and promotion activities. And again, what we do on a daily basis is we work in alliance with the airlines so that they put more routes and frequencies, and so that we have more seats for the American travelers to go to Colombia. We work in alliance with the cruise lines to call Colombian ports. We work in alliance also with the hotel chains so that they open their operations in Colombia. And we also work to stimulate demand so that the traveler knows more about Colombia and how to explore our destinations through the trade. which in the case of tourism are the tour operators, the travel agents, and the online travel agencies that you all know about, the Expedia, the Travelocities, and all these big players. So now we're gonna get to the fun part. So welcome to Colombia, the most welcoming place on earth. And this is our national manifesto. The most welcoming place on earth is something that we're very proud of, because if there is one thing that characterizes Colombians is the warmth, the joy, and that culture of service, of being always welcoming to our travelers and making them feel as if they're in their home. Something that is very important for us as an approach to the country, and it's actually a very relevant competitive advantage that we have, is how close we are to the United States. And it's something that is often disregarded. Not many people know, because we are in South America, that we're only 4.5 hours away from New York City, for example, and how connected we are. So this is a very key part, because we're in the same time zone, for example. Well, now we have 1 hour difference because of daylight saving times, but just staying in the same time zone and being able to fly nonstop. I think the longest trip, the longest flight we have is from Los Angeles to Bogota, which is a 6 hours flight, but in many cases, the distance is shorter than even among some of the destinations inside the United States. So our privileged location in geography gives us not only this proximity and this capacity to be very connected by air and maritime ways to the United States, but also to have such a diverse topography that will translate into 365 days of the same weather. Very important to know is that we have no seasons, because we are above the equatorial line, but we do have different weathers depending on the altitude. So Bogota, the capital, where our embassy of the United States in Colombia is, and most of our Colombian partners are right now, it's 8,000 feet high. So pack your bags when you decide to study in Colombia, depending on the altitude of the city where you're going to be, because Bogota is very high and it's also a very nice weather. And Cartagena, for example, or the Caribbean and the Pacific coasts are at sea level. And then we have some weather in between, which is like we call Medellin the city of the eternal spring, 4,000 feet high average. So our climate is driven by the altitude of our destinations. So we have 50.8, by the way, million Colombians ready to welcome you. As you know, our official language is Spanish, although in San Andres, Providencia, and Santa Catalina, most of the residents speak English and Creole. Our currency is the Colombian peso, very favorable in the exchange rate with the US dollar right now. And I already mentioned the altitude. Let's move on to the next. So why Colombia? Besides being overly connected through 8 airlines flying out of 10 gates in the United States. So American Airlines, United, Delta, JetBlue, Spirit, Avianca, Copa, LATAM are flying from 10 gates in the United States to 9 cities in Colombia. We also have a world-class infrastructure, not only for events, but in general for tourism, respecting also the environment and the cultural heritage. And this is a very important point for us. Colombia is doing such a big effort, and yes, continuing to develop the infrastructure, always respecting the communities where the infrastructure is being built, because we truly believe that we have a duty to preserve it, but also the experience is more genuinely and authentic for the traveler. Then, well, high quality service, which is it's a reflex of the culture of service that we have, of that warmth. We have wide experience hosting world-class events and travelers since at least 16 years ago that we started promoting proactively Colombia as a destination. And we have unique experiences and a very competitive exchange rate, as I mentioned. So Colombia is a very cost-efficient destination. Now, this is very important. I want to show you you already saw where we are located, and I bet you knew that before. However, this is very important. Colombia is a country of regions. And the pandemic, the 2020 year, was very important for us to rethink the way we were doing things, the way we were promoting our destinations, and the way we wanted the future to look like, considering all those scenarios. So Colombia has 5 geopolitical regions. And these 5 geopolitical regions are very important because actually we have all 5 regions of South America in one country. Colombia is the only country that is bathed by both the Caribbean and the Pacific. We have also the Amazon and the Orinoco. We have the Andes. We have the Caribbean. And we discovered during the pandemic that the destinations that are most well positioned, the ones that have the connectivity, were definitely the bridge for those remote destinations that were not enjoying the influx of travelers and the positive impact of the travel and tourism industry because they were too remote. So we did an exercise with 2 purposes: to become smarter and more sustainable, or to provide a smarter and a more sustainable way for the travel to explore the country. So we took all the destinations of Colombia and we reorganized them around the connectivity hubs so that we made sure that every time a traveler lands in one destination has the possibility, and we create the awareness of those remote destinations for the traveler to explore by land, by water, by bike, however you prefer, or even flying. Those destinations that are surrounding our mainstream destinations. And the exercise, from the exercise, 6 regions unfolded instead of 5, which are the geopolitical. The 6 regions are still the Greater Caribbean remains, the Pacific remains the same, but we split the Andes in 2, Eastern and Western. We merged the Orinoco and the Amazon into one, and this is basically 40% of the country is in the Orinoco and the Amazon, all this region that is very nature oriented. And we created the Colombian massive region, which is where most of the ancestral attractions or heritage are concentrated. And each one of them feels different, looks different, sounds different, and tastes different as well. So this is very important. You will find this in our webpage, and we are doing the work right now with the stakeholders in the US and every market abroad of working with the tour operators and also stimulating the demand so that they understand this way of approaching the country and engaging in more sustainable ways. Well, Colombia also, and we're very proud of, and this is also because of our geography, we're one of 16 countries in the world that are considered mega diverse. And, you know, with Brazil, depending on if you're talking meters or square meters or square feet, we're number 1 or 2 in biodiversity in the country. We're number 1, for example, in birds, orchids, and most recently declared by the Museum of Natural History of London, butterflies as well. So we were 2nd in butterflies, but we were recently announced to have the most number of species in butterflies, in amphibians, in freshwater fish, ponds and reptiles, mammals. So all of these to tell you that, for example, La Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, which is located in the Greater Caribbean region, which is an 18,000 feet high mountain, is the only mountain in the world with snow, perpetual snow in the top on a coast. And it's also been declared the most irreplaceable place on Earth because it has all thermal floors where basically every species could survive. So this is for us very important, and it's an experience you will have across the country in every latitude, because you will be able to feel the nature surrounding the country basically anywhere where you are. Even in the capital, you are seeing the hills from the capital. And so it's very easy to escape the urban life and go to rural areas and enjoy that wellness that only nature can provide when you're in Colombia. And we're very proud of it, and we are committed to preserving it. Well, talking about our industry, of course, the travel and tourism industry comes from a very challenging time in which all the planes were grounded and the world stopped for a while. And we were lucky enough to have had a government that took very seriously the pandemic and that did every effort to contain it and that opened its borders to certain countries that were like-minded in the way they were handling the pandemic in September 2020. So in September 2020, Colombia opens its airspace again to a few countries, being the United States one of them. And only 6 months later, we had recovered 100% of our air connectivity because the airlines were seeing the demand of the US traveler to Colombia, also because we have an important diaspora of Colombians living in the United States that were basically securing that the operations of the airlines were going to be profitable. But I have to say that, as you can see here, that the number of foreigners was superior to the number of Colombians traveling to Colombia since we opened our airspace. So we come from an important moment in which the recovery of Colombia has been outstanding. It's number 8 in the world in its recovery phase globally. And this is to show you that, well, we became number 1 in South America in the number of US travelers that are arriving. It has been a very intense process of providing awareness about the country, sharing the product that we have, the commitment we have to sustainability, and the proximity. Because to be honest, my main challenge right now is not about sharing the good and diversity of Colombia. It's making the case of the awareness of the American traveler of how close we are, that we are basically a weekend getaway, that there are so many destinations to explore in the country, and we're so well connected that you don't need 3 weeks to go to South America and enjoy Colombia. So the international connectivity, we're connected to these countries abroad. We have over 1,000 weekly frequencies, and we have 27 airlines flying to Colombia. Particularly the status right now is we're 119% of our reactivation. This means that we have more planes flying to Colombia right now than before the pandemic, and that's very positive. We are number 20 with the largest air capacity. And regarding the United States, I believe we are right now number 10 country best connected to the United States. But if you take Europe out of the equation, we're number 5, just after Canada and Mexico, that basically don't count as overseas travel, and after the Dominican Republic and Costa Rica. These are the airlines that are connected to Colombia, and I highlighted the US, the airlines flying out of the US here. Also, for us, the cruise industry is very important because we've had a very sustained operation since 2005 with 35 different cruise lines. Right now it's 23 because of also the level of reactivation of the industry. But both our coasts on the Caribbean and the Pacific receive cruises from the mega liners to the exploration and luxury vessels. Also, we have the presence of different hotel chains across the country, more than 15, more than 10,000 hotels. So this is important also to show that not only the traditional restoration is happening in Colombia, but we're seeing a very interesting trend given that we're a nature destination of glamping. I don't know if you're familiarized with it, but take a look at that. There's a lot of glamping development throughout the country, which is camping with the glamour and the comfort that I know my American travelers, they all want. Well, in sustainable tourism, I must say that Colombia is one of 12 countries in the world with a national policy in tourism based in sustainability. You can consult it online. I don't think you can see it yeah, no, well, I have it in, it's public, but we're very proud. And this is also a result of that exercise we did in 2020. And the Ministry of Tourism took very seriously the task of setting a policy that would basically set the rules on how we are going to conduct tourism in Colombia, and also set the rules for international investors arriving in Colombia. And even if they don't apply the best and most sustainable practices, the country does have its own petition and, you know, regulation on how to practice tourism in the country. So for us, this is very important. It is driving all the decisions made in the industry, and we're committed to sustainable tourism. Also, well, the Meaningful Travel Summit, this is a mistake in the presentation, didn't happen in 2020. It happened actually in November last year because it had to.
Don't worry, Maria Jose. Actually, I know you have more information for all of us, but we have just a little time for our other guests. So maybe I invite you just to close your presentation. I'm really sorry.
No, don't be,
but you
don't
know, we
worry.
understand.
Don't be, I completely understand. And I think we can make available the presentation for all the participants to consult it. You also have my contact information in case you would like to reach out directly to me, or maybe through the Colombia Challenge Your Knowledge team or Go Colombia. But this is to say that we're open, we are here for you. There's a lot to discover and explore in Colombia. And we look forward to you considering Colombia as a country for your higher education. And I do think that there are so many different reasons and positive reasons why this is a great destination to study abroad.
Thank you so much, Maria Jose. Well, all this information, I know for all our participants, thinks it's very valuable and interesting, just to invite them and motivate them to come here to Colombia. So, well, we right now, I want you to share the good practice on one of the partner university of CCYK, Santo Tomas University. And today we have the professor Diana Fuentes, who is going to introduce us Colombia in the World Perspectives from the Academy. Diana Fuentes is professor from Santo Tomas University, is graduated in Spanish and English from the National Pedagogical University, Master in Education from the Universidad La Gran Colombia, Professor in Humanities at the University of Santo Tomas. She has performed some administrative functions such as leading the editorial process of non-serial products of the department and leading professor of the share of oral and writing communication. She devised and developed the elective course of critical reading and writing of academic texts for postgraduate degrees and the share of Colombianenses for international and national students. She has participated in different investigations with international recognitions, some of them published in New Human magazine of the National University of Costa Rica, among others. She was a speaker at the International Conference of Humanities with texts related to literature, memory, writing, and reading. As well, she created the Gabriela and San Martin Writing and Orally Center, and is currently her leader. So welcome, Diana, to this stage.
Thanks a lot for this invitation. And this is a great opportunity to me to show you all the things that Colombia has and to promote my country. So I am going to share my screen. I hope that I can do it. Let me a moment. Because I can see. Okay, can you see my presentation?
Yes.
My slides?
We invite you just to have on the presentation mode. Okay, perfect.
Okay, good. So as you can hear previously, the idea of this presentation is to show general aspects about this course called Cátedra de Colombianidad. And as you can hear also, my name is Diana Fuentes, and I belong to the University, Santo Tomás University. Now I am in Villavicencio, that is one of the cities of this country. And I don't know if you can see well, but I think that is no, the answer is no. But in my back, there is a landscape of Villavicencio, because the university is located in a natural environment. Okay, but well, according to the background of the about this course, I want to tell you some general aspects that made or that caused that the creation of this course. So first, we as a teacher realized that international students wanted and also needed to know more about Colombian history and Colombian culture. So we thought in the possibility to create a course in which the students getting more in contact with these important aspects about Colombian culture. For that reason, we create this course, Cátedra of Colombianidad, and for the development of the syllabus of this course, we based on the Global Citizen Education from UNESCO and with the tuning competences. And also we create this course with the next structure. We made the course with these three components: the theoretical base, the practice, and the student mobility. In the theoretical base, we consider important that the international students and also national students know more about institutional philosophy with some dates about some facts about university history, university purpose, and humanistic learning approach or humanistic learning theory, because of the purpose of the university and the base of the university, the Santo Tomás University. Another component of the theoretical base is the Colombian history. So the idea is that the students know more about Colombian anthem, the national symbols, and also we have the opportunity to work this course in a bicentennial year. So we get advantage of all the advertisement and all the tools and materials that circulate for the bicentennial year. So we had these tools in order to have more deep knowledge about that Colombian history. And the Colombian geography take into account the regions, and not only the regions in order to get more information about mountains, rivers, populations, etc., but also take into account the traditions, the dialects and the music that develop in each one of the regions, because they are so different in each one of the regions. And the other component is the practice, and in the practice component, we tried to our international students work in gastronomy, in traditional dances, and in literature. And also, and finally, the student mobility that is related or that was developed taking into account the field trips. This is the general structure of the course. And now I am going to share with you some course experiences that burn in this context. So in the component, in the practice component, I told you that we have the practice with traditional dances, and this is a little show about these classes. So we had in these classes a specialized teacher in dances, in traditional dances, and the teacher not only told the students about the steps of these traditional dances, but also told elements, for example, the history, the dress of the people who dance that, and this is a little bit, a little short show about this. This traditional dance is in the Andean region and is a bambuco. We call bambuco. And the second video is going to show you a representation of cumbia, that is the most important traditional dance in Colombia and the most popular, we can say that. Okay, this is one important element of the course. The other important element that I want to share with you is the gastronomy. So the idea is that the students get in contact with the Colombian gastronomy, preparing some recipes of traditional dishes that develop in the regions. And the idea is that they prepare by themselves these recipes. Before pandemic, they have the opportunity to bring these dishes to class and share with all the partners. But obviously with pandemic, the idea was that they recorded themselves making these preparations. So again, a little bit of this.
Again, maybe you are not sharing the audio so we can hear them.
Okay, you can listen?
No, the invitation is to continue with the presentation, then we can share the slides with the participants so they can hear the videos.
Okay. And the other is, like I told you, the field trips. So we made in the course field trips, like for example, to Monserrate. And this is Perseverancia, that is one of the neighborhoods of Bogota. We have a great possibility in Santo Tomás University to travel around Colombia, because in Santo Tomás University we have many seats around Colombia. So it's a plan to travel to these seats in Colombia, in Colombia, because Santo Tomás University has seats in Villavicencio, like I told you before, Bogotá, Bucaramanga, Medellín, and Tunja. So we have the opportunity to travel, but this is like a future plan, okay? Because for pandemic, we couldn't do that. And the other is this activity that was important because it was an activity with traditional games in Colombia. So the international student had a day in which they training in these traditional games, like for example, trompo, that is this. And this is tejo, that is our national sport. So in this day, all the students could practice in these traditional games. The conclusions of the course. So I think that with development of this course, we can, or for example, me, I can get many conclusions. The three most important was that we had many things in common. It was amazed that how we have more things in common than some things that are different of us. And one of the things in common that we had is, for example, the perception of our anthems. So it was amazed that when Mexican students presented their national anthems, they said that their national anthem was the second most important in the world. And the Peruvian student said, no, 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 our national anthem is the second most beautiful. And the Colombian student said, no, no, no. The teacher said us when we were child that our national anthem is the second most beautiful. So it was very interesting, this experience, because I don't know, it was like idea that promotes the patriotic feelings for our nations. The other coincidence I found when I explained them about milking sons. The milking sons are an activity that the farmers of Orinoquia region make with their cows. So what is it? The milk sons is an activity in which the farmers sing songs to the cow in order to the cows will be more peaceful, more relaxed, and the milk can give more milk in this milk activity. So this is a little show of the representation of these songs. Okay, this is a little bit, these are the songs, and this is cultural heritage of humanity. And when I was explaining this to my students, the Argentina students said that they had a song for the coast, and it was a great coincidence to find these elements.
Well, Diana, as it happens with Maria Jose, the time is too short, but we know all the information you have is really interesting to all of us. So, well, just to finish this session, we have just a little activity dynamic for you. We want to share, and
Okay.
not also just inviting you to our next session. Remember, we're gonna have 4 sessions of this Go Colombia Talks. And the other one will be next June 29 with the theme Colombia as a State and Welcome Destination. Remember, this session has been recorded and will be shared with all the registered and all our participants. So, well, Diana, thank you so much. We want you to just share like the little dynamic, the little session you have for our participants, please.
Okay, yes, let me a moment. I am trying to leave. Okay, so it was the final message of this is this slide that I show you, that really there's more that unites than divides. And I consider that this is the great conclusion of all the development of this course. Thanks a lot.
Well, I'm gonna share just a little link with all you guys here at some chat, so you can really anchor to the dynamics. One, please. There you go.
I have time to make the activity, or?
It's already have it here.
Ah, okay, yes. Okay, it was a short activity that I prepared for you. It's a kind of game in which you have to guess what is the image, or what is the name of the image of that we are present. So you have some clues. I am going to give you some clues. For example, in this case, this is a hat, and this is the most representative hat in Colombia. And what is the name of this hat? Do you know? Volteado. Very good. So the answer is this, the volteado hat or sombrero volteado. And general things about this is from the Caribbean region, and it was knitted in threads by Caña Flecha Palma. The second image is a musical instrument. I don't know if you see that instrument before. And marimba, very good, the marimba de Chonta. And this is from Pacific region, and it was made for with the trunk of a tree called Chonta, for that reason, the name. This is the image of a person that made part of one of the 87% of native group in Colombia. Close. Sorry. Okay. Okay, it's not this. What was? Witoto. Okay, so it was the last option, Witoto. And the Witoto ethnic group or native group is located in Amazonia region. So the other image is a place, is one of the most beautiful places in Colombia and also in the world, and is unique in the world. What is? What do you think? Cartagena? Look at that. Nope, it's not Cartagena. Caño Cristales says, oh, that's good, that's correct. It's Caño Cristales, because Caño Cristales is the unique lake in this type. And I recommend, if you want to travel to this place, this is located in the Orinoquia region. And if you want to travel there, the idea is that you came between August, July, more or less, and November, okay? Because in these months, the algas that are that live in the lake can give the colors more deeper in a deeper way, okay? And our final image is a dish, is food. What do you think? Arepa, bandeja paisa, mazamorra, changua, what do you think? What do you say? Changua, very good. This is good. This is one of the most popular dishes in the Andina region. And I think that I consider this dish like a very controversial dish, because for many people in Colombia, or better, many people in Colombia love changua, but there are other people that are many too that hate changua. So I invite you to prove that, to taste that. It's very good, and it's a dish that makes milk, onion, eggs, etc. And for me, I recommend that. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you, all of you, to being here, to participate, to know Colombia with data, with this kind of activity. So we hope you really are interested to come here to Colombia to visit us. And well, for all the persons who are talking us, to know all the emails of Maria Jose, Diana, even though from CCYK network, we're gonna share with you all the presentation as well this record. Thank you so much for being here, and we hope to see you next June 29 with the other Go Colombia Talks. Thank you so much. Have a good day.